No. So social media, I think this is something that all of you should be doing if you're not already, is the fundamental shift in the way that we all communicate. It's unbelievable. It's how I find out information on everybody that I know, good or bad, but it's becoming the way that we communicate. And what's great about it is it's no longer a one-way communication. So, for example, with social media for use in business, using a lot of traditional media is kind of like using a bullhorn. It's just yelling your message out to as many people as you can, hoping that somewhere in that group of people, there's a handful that are interested in buying your product. Whereas social media is a real one-on-one conversation with your potential customers or your current customers. I've heard more stories of people posting bad things about a major brand, and that major brand having that conversation with them to try to make things right. It's really easy to post on your Facebook page that I was at IKEA this weekend and the customer service person really ticked me off. It takes 2 seconds for me to do that, and guess what? I've got 500 people following me, and my 500 people have 500 people following them. It grows exponentially. So it can be pretty damaging for a brand if you are not paying attention to what is being said about you. Reputation management is huge with social media. So as far as how we're sharing information, and I really like this graph because it's unbelievable that we're actually sharing more content as people via Facebook than we are via email. You notice in that video that, I think it was Boston College, they just stopped giving their students email addresses because they found that nobody was using them. These 18, 19, 20-year-olds, this is how they communicate. They communicate through Facebook. It's an unbelievably powerful tool. I always use you, Julie, as an example that it's a way for me as a salesperson to stay in touch with my clients, right? The other weekend, Julie and I were going back and forth. There might have been some alcohol involved. But we were talking about recipes because I posted something that I made for dinner that night. And as a salesperson, think about how powerful that is. I'm having a conversation with one of my clients on a Saturday. If I would have picked up the phone to call Julie, she probably thought that would have been a little bit weird. But it's totally normal. We're just having a very open dialogue via Facebook.
Fabulous recipes you got there.
Did you make them? Mm-hmm. Good, good. The eggplant one? Mm-hmm. Good. So this is an analogy that I put together, and I think it's a pretty good one as far as showing where we were as consumers, where we went, and kind of where we are again now. I think it really comes full circle to show that. Days of the Wild Wild West, you had a couple of choices. You went to the general store. You knew the blacksmith who was making the product you were purchasing. You knew the owner of the general store. They were able to inform you of what it was that you were purchasing. Then comes along the Industrial Revolution, and the almighty dollar is what's more important. We want to buy things. We want to buy them cheap. So what that does is diminish quality, but it also diminishes our ability to discern where those products are coming from. All we care about is I can buy it here for 10 bucks, I can get it here for 5 bucks, that's what I'm getting. Fast forward to today, and social media has really brought that whole thought process full circle. Ultimately, I want to buy the cheapest product, yes, but it allows me to familiarize myself with the product purchase that I'm making, whether it's going to a festival, whether it's purchasing something on Amazon, or whether it's looking at customer reviews for a restaurant in town. I can be educated as a consumer before I make any purchase, and I am very educated before I make any purchase. I'm looking at customer reviews on Amazon. I'm price checking on Google. I've thrown it out to people on Facebook. Hey, I'm thinking about getting this. Does anybody else have it? So Web 2.0 and social media has really given us as consumers the ability to understand what it is we're purchasing again, instead of just purchasing it from a mass retailer that ultimately you're buying on the price. So social media for business, and I think this is really interesting.